Morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. This is Kevin Moon from God's Country. It's time for your primetime forecast on Dr. Don's weather. Now, here's my friend, Dr. Don.
Good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. You have made it to Friday. Hey, don't forget to scan that QR code here on the screen so then you get your cost-free, no-obligation insurance quote from Jamie Dukas. Find out how much money Jamie can save you with Alpha Insurance. So we have a lot to talk about this morning, folks. First of all, let me say, don't forget to go over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, and click that little bell so that when we go live for severe weather, you'll be guaranteed to get that push notification. Now, let me take you to school just for a few moments here. We had an issue yesterday. We were broadcasting live all day long yesterday afternoon, but there was a problem with one of our Facebook feeds, which just happened to be our main channel over on Dr. Don's weather page on Facebook. Now, we were still broadcasting on our East Alabama weather group, our Central Alabama weather group. We were over on God's Country. We had our YouTube feed going yesterday. So we were everywhere we were supposed to be except on our main page there on Facebook. So this is why it is vitally important for you to follow me on all of those other social media channels. And most of all, if you don't do anything else, go to YouTube and search Dr. Don's Weather and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that bell so that when we go live, you get that push notification. It's free. It doesn't cost you a dime to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you get a lot of cool stuff over there on YouTube also. But it's a backup. And here's the deal, folks. Facebook does not send out timely notifications. It's not really conducive for severe weather situations. YouTube is. It automatically will notify you if you have your notifications turned on when we go live over on YouTube. So make sure you do that. Now, a lot of you did find us yesterday, but there were several of you that did not. And so you need to make sure that you follow us on all of our social media pages and double down on going over there and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Now, if you're having trouble finding us, you shouldn't. Really, all you got to do is Google Dr. Don's Weather, and all of our social links will come up there on Google. But send me a message. I will help you. I will send you the links. I will do everything I can to get you so that you will get notified when we go live to cover severe weather. Just wow. Yesterday turned into a very, very heart-wrenching, scary situation for all of us across East Alabama and West Georgia. I mean, we got into a marathon yesterday afternoon. We had that one storm that caused all kinds of damage down in Dallas County, the city of Selma. Just total devastation down there with that tornado yesterday. That storm moved on up into Autauga County, which is where I was born and raised, and then went across the northern part of the county up around Deatsville. I've got photographs. I've seen pictures of that tornado that were taken from 10 miles away down in Prattville. Got a photograph of the tornado sitting right there near Deatsville and Marbury as well. Got a lot of photographs. We'll share those with you tomorrow when I've got time to put all of that together. Then the storm moved on up and went across extreme northern Elmore County into southern Coosa, ended up in Tallapoosa County, and then came right across northern Chambers. A lot of damage this morning in the Standing Rock community there in northeastern Chambers County. We had that same storm moved on over into extreme northern Troop and southern Hurd, and then we had a second storm form that ended up producing another tornado, we believe, very close to downtown LaGrange. There's a lot of damage in LaGrange this morning. I-85 was closed in both directions out there at the LaGrange exit for many hours yesterday afternoon. And then that storm moved on over toward Griffin, Georgia. A lot of damage over there also. So it was just a red letter day across Alabama and Georgia with severe weather. And, you know, we were talking about that storm system for several days leading up to it. And then yesterday morning, the Storm Prediction Center pulled the trigger on increasing our risk to enhanced. So I don't want you to lose sight of this event. I'm awfully glad that you didn't have damage, but I don't want you to lose sight of this event. Anytime we go from a slight risk to an enhanced risk, you got to pay attention to what's going on. This turned into a really bad situation. That storm, it's going to be very interesting to see the exact length from beginning to end on some of those tornadoes yesterday. They were long-lived, violent tornadoes. The National Weather Service will be out doing damage surveys today all across Alabama and Georgia. The Birmingham National Weather Service will be looking at the Selma and Autauga County tornado today. That's the same tornado that ended up coming across Tallapoosa, caused damage there around Wind Creek State Park. We were telling you that as the storm was moving through. And so I think we're probably looking at an EF3 on that storm because we had debris up at 15,000 feet in the atmosphere. That is just incredible. You don't typically see storms like that in Alabama and Georgia. Yes, it can happen. Of course, the Tuscaloosa tornado several years ago, that was a strong storm. So it does happen occasionally, but it's not common to see storms that strong in Alabama and Georgia. And I think after all is said and done, some of those tornadoes yesterday are going to make it to at least EF3, if not EF4. Of course, the scale only goes to EF5, so pretty strong stuff yesterday. Thanks to all of you who did find me and who did watch, and several of you sent us some support. We appreciate that. If you haven't done that, and if you can, I would ask that you consider to do so. This stuff's very expensive. We took a lightning strike yesterday that took out one of our modems, so now we've got to replace that. That stuff's very expensive. So if you have it and if you can, we certainly appreciate any support you can give us. You can do that by going to our website or just send me a message on Messenger, and I'll send you a link or tell you how you can help support us if you'd like to do that. So today we have no threat of severe weather across Alabama or Georgia. The threat we have today is winter weather. It's going to be a cold, raw day with temperatures falling all day long. It's going to be very windy. And yeah, you may even see a snowflake blowing in the wind today, but don't get too excited. I'll give you all the details on that a little later on in this morning's forecast. Tomorrow, no thunderstorm activity anticipated, and even on Sunday, we look good across Alabama and Georgia. Here are current conditions from the East Alabama Bee Company, down in 5 Points, which is very close to some of that damage that happened yesterday afternoon. Currently, we have 43 degrees. The high temperature yesterday was 62. Some places made it up into the upper 60s, and that was part of the reason we had severe weather yesterday. Currently, it's mostly cloudy, maybe a sprinkle here and there. The wind is out of the west-northwest at 3, gusting to 12. 89% humidity. The barometric pressure is at 30.01. About a quarter of an inch of rain at the Bee Company, but look, the rain totals varied greatly across the area yesterday, depending on whether or not you are under one of those very strong thunderstorms. You could have seen up to as much as 2 inches of rain. So rainfall totals vary widely across Alabama and Georgia from yesterday's storms. Sunrise this morning at 6:43, sunsets this evening at 4:56. Don't forget to stop by M.L. Aubrey's in downtown Roanoke or Randolph Farmers Co-op up in Wedowee to pick up that East Alabama Bee Company honey. So this afternoon, look at that. Yesterday we were talking upper 60s and low 70s. Today we're talking mid 40s at best. We'll hit 44 this afternoon in Roanoke, 40 in Ashland, Lineville, 41 up in Wedowee, 40 in Ranburne. We'll make it to 45 in Franklin. Lafayette tops out at 44. And Dadeville down there on 280 will hit 44 this afternoon as well. Again, it's going to be a blistery day. We'll see the sun from time to time. We'll have clouds from time to time. We may have a sprinkle or a snow flurry from time to time, just a mixed bag of weather expected today across East Alabama and West Georgia. So here's the 6-day forecast from the Alpha Weather Center. We're going to give you a 20% chance of sprinkles or a flurry or two. And this would be pretty much at any time during the day today, even into the early evening hours tonight. we could see a snow flurry or two. I think the best chances of seeing any snow will probably come late this afternoon and for a couple of 2 or 3 hours into the evening up until around 9 or 10 o'clock tonight, because I don't think we're going to get much below freezing. I mean, you can have snow flurries at 38 degrees. I mean, I see that happen up here in northeast Georgia all the time. But as far as the slightest possibility of seeing any dusting or very light accumulation on cold surfaces, if that were to happen at all, and I don't think it will, it would come late this afternoon into the first couple, 2-3 hours of your evening. That's when we will reach 32 or maybe dip just below 32 late this afternoon up until around 8 or 9 o'clock this evening. So up until then, if you see a snowflake, don't worry about it because the ground temperature is well above freezing and so is the air temperature. So that's how that's going to work. So 44 will be your high today, down to 28 tonight. 10% chance of those snow flurries continuing up until around midnight tonight. But again, no accumulation anticipated, no big deal. We certainly don't need to call off school for what we're going to see today or tonight if you see anything at all. And I'll show you on radar why I keep using that if word. A very, very good possibility you won't see anything. On Saturday, we're looking for mostly sunny skies, 46. Sunday, sunny, 55. And then that warming trend continues. Monday, partly cloudy, 57. Our next storm system moves in on Monday night. We'll give you a 40% chance of rain. Tuesday, 60% chance of rain and a 40% chance of rain next Wednesday. High temperature, 68 degrees. I mean, warming up again. It's like a roller coaster ride, but that's not uncommon across Alabama and Georgia this time of year. So here's the Southern Union State Community College Live Doppler HD radar. And here's what I want to show you. Now, look, that stuff over there going out into the Atlantic, that's what's left of our storm system that caused all the severe storms and tornadoes yesterday across Alabama and Georgia. So it's long gone. It's out in the Atlantic. No more threat of severe weather. No problems there. All right, but pay attention to these little bitty T90 green spots you see there across central Alabama, up here northeast Alabama. Stretches all the way up to Nashville, and even up into western Kentucky, into southwestern Indiana. Indianapolis up there's got some. It goes all the way back up into Illinois. And really stretches all the way up toward Milwaukee. Now, that is what we call wraparound moisture. Our low-pressure system's up here just north of Pittsburgh, just south of Buffalo, New York, and it's spinning around up there and moving on off to the northeast. But what's happening is it's pulling Canadian cold air down into the United States, and that cold air is wringing out every last drop of moisture that was left behind from this system in the atmosphere. And as this storm spins and moves off to the northeast, it's going to pull little bitty pieces of moisture down into the southeastern United States. And that's where our possible flurry or sprinkle will come from. This is not a snowmaker for Alabama or Georgia. This is called wraparound moisture. No big dealio here. I mean, it's possible for a minute or two you could see a burst of snow. But again, the ground temperature is going to be well above freezing during the daylight hours today, so no issue. And then after the sun sets this evening, it could continue through around midnight tonight. And there could be a light dusting here and there, probably not in most locations. But there, as we zoom in a little bit closer on East Alabama, you can see that this would be in the form of drizzle this morning, most likely, in portions of Talladega down into Coosa, maybe over into Chilton County. But again, like I said, from time to time, that could be mixed with a little light snow or a flurry or two as it moves across Alabama and Georgia in the aftermath of yesterday's storm system. Hey, don't forget to follow us over on Twitter. It's at DSTREN1040. We broadcast all of our weather information on Twitter, just as we do on Facebook, YouTube, and at drdonwx.com. That's our home on the World Wide Web. Go there and hit that donate button to help support us. And tomorrow morning, I will give you a list of all of our social media channels. I'll make a graphic for you. We'll put it up on the screen. And I would encourage you to go follow all of our Facebook channels. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And then that way, if something were to happen to one of our feeds like it did yesterday, you still have options of being able to watch us. Several of you were able to find us anyway yesterday. But if you'll follow all of our social media channels, including Twitter, then that way, if something happens to one of them, then you'll be able to find us on another. It's like we broadcast on multiple different channels. And the best idea is to follow all of our channels, so if something happens to one of them, you still have that option to watch us if you so choose. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow morning. So, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, I'll see you back in here first thing tomorrow morning for your Saturday morning forecast. Have a fantastic Friday. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.